What's up? What's going on, people? It's your guy back out here in the building, about to do my 1 2 1 2. Yeah, I don't know if my audio's working. I can't hear myself. So if you could hear me, I'll take a thumbs up. I'm cool. Hopefully everybody's doing good. I feel so good. I feel so good right now. I ain't got nobody. I ain't been on in a while. I ain't got nobody on live with me, but that's all right. You hear me? Did you hang the phone up on me? I'm serious. You don't see me? You don't see me? I'm up on the channel. I'm up on with the beautiful infinite creators. Y'all know what it is. I'm gonna salute you guys. Boom! What's up? Yeah. I re- I respect the divinity. I salute the divinity. All that good stuff. I hope everybody's doing good. Spend a minute. Um, I just want to come by and show some love. That's all. What's up, cuz? You can hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me on the internet? Ah, okay. I see one person. That's probably you in the building right now. I just see one person pop up. So that means you. Yeah, that's you. You probably the Lone Ranger right now. But let's see. That's cool though. I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you. There we go. I just wanted to come here because you thought I was playing around. I told you I was gonna go live. So go ahead. You want me to put you on? You want me to bring you in? Bring your audio in? You want me to bring your audio in? Let you call in the number. We could do a test. And you could check out the line for me. See if I can get you live. I don't even know what happened to the number, Leash. The number, the Google number. I forgot what it is. You know it? I, oh. The Google number is. Let me see. No, I know. I think. Let me see. I don't know why. I just went live and messing around. Let me see if I got. Yeah, you. What do I have on? Tell me what I'm on. There we go. Yeah, you see me. Yeah, you see me. Let me see. Hold on. We could do a test. Maybe you can help me up with this test. What's going on here? Hold on. Let me see if I can find this number here. All right, here's the number. Call me on this number. See if I can get you on this number. You see the number right there? What's going on, my? You see that number? What? Yeah. Does it like it? Uh, all right. What about it now? I just turned my speaker down, so that should. All right. Yeah, cool. I was just checking that out. Call that number. See if I can get you on the. I can get you on the. Yeah, call that number. See if we can get you on the jack. Is it? I don't know. It can't be. It's impossible. It's impossible. 237-6864-617 237-6864. Let me see if this number's working and I can. Yeah, I don't know why. Somebody else is on here. Who else is on here? I'm just clowning around, checking out checking out the system, see if I'm ready to get back rocking and rolling for the beautiful infinite creators doing their thing. Hopefully everybody is okay. Let me see if I. What happened with the phone call? That's not the number. That ain't what I'm looking for. I hear it. I get in the call, but I don't. Why you calling? Why is it ringing on my phone? It should be ringing to my computer. I Man, hang up. Me take. Okay. No, no, no. Don't hang up that number. All right. Let's see. Take that off. Booyah! There you go. Let me see if I can plug in my headphones. What's up? Hello? Yeah, my phone. Give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back. Can you hear me? Right here. See my phone right here? I'm gonna let the beautiful. But I said, why would you do that when I have tissue up my nose? But you can't see you. Can you hear you now? Go ahead. No. I can hear you. Well, now I know I can't see me, you nanny. What you want to talk about? Don't call me the nanny in front of the beautiful infinite. I got you on live with the beautiful infinite creators, and you calling me a nanny? Serious? I keep forgetting you're my co-girl. What you want to talk about? Since you want to go live with me, let's go. What you want to talk about? Tell me what you want to talk about. You got a lot to talk about. You got a lot to say. So let's have it. Give it to me raw. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me. Just let me hear what you got to say. Tell me how's it going up there and the beautiful. Yo, yes I do. Yes I do. Tell me how it is going in the what they call it. Is it the maple? Is it the maple syrup state? Oh yeah, talk to me about the Green Mountain State. Let, let me let me hear about the Green Mountain State. Talk to me about what goes on in the Green Mountain State. Is it fun? Is it nice? You guys go skiing? It's a beautiful state. What? It's absolutely beautiful here. Are you serious? You didn't let me finish. Okay, go ahead. It's the people that make it ugly. The people. It's the hate. But what about the beautiful infinite creators? I know they got to have some beautiful infinite creators in the I am the beautiful infinite okay. Creator. And the Green Mountain State. And I know you got to have some good souls out there somewhere, right? Everybody can't be bad. I think I value people more when they're authentic. But isn't that are we authentic selves when we be infinite creators or well we should be. We should be. But isn't like truth relative to who you talking to? Isn't it relative? When you say authentic, how do you define authentic? Because you like to tell me to go look up the words and the etymology of the words. What is authentic? To me? Yeah. From my perspective? Absolutely. Absolutely transparent. Okay. All the time. But don't a lot of things get lost in translation? Everything get lost in transition and perspective. Oh yeah. So if we want to go knee deep into it, think about everything. Like I tell you all the time, walking in your truth. But truth is relative, depending on who you're talking to. Of course. Of course. So being a beautiful infinite creator in the Green Mountain State, take us on your journey. Take us to your journey. Let's dive into it. I want to know about your journey. Since you my first caller, I'm just here. I'm just having a little fun. I'm not gonna stay on too long, but yeah, rap to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to the people. Let them know what's going on. You know. Okay. In which realm? And on this realm right now, there's a lot's happening in the world that a lot of people they're upset about, you know, with the abortion right thing. You got the war going on. We got tons of things going on in the world. We've got tons of things going on, and people, you know, they want to. Well, let's talk about your cousin being a disabled female veteran and all that's going on in the world. There's so many things going on in this world that we're living with delusions. Yeah, but people, when you say people are living with delusion or illusion, what do you mean when you say people are living with illusions? Because okay, when I say that, I only speak in self. Okay. Okay. Clarify. A lot. As a matter of fact, I'm going to use, for example, Mr. Doug that I just met, who's 80 years old.
and donates his money to many, many, many veteran organizations. And I had to break his little heart by telling him that that money doesn't come to me.
So you broke his heart by telling him because you're a veteran, and he's thinking that he's supporting you. And when you tell him that, how does it affect him? You think? I wish he was here and I could have talked to him. How do you think that affects him?
I had to educate him, and once I gave him the history of how all this stuff actually works, he said, "You opened my eyes to a whole nother world." And I said, "Shouldn't we all be doing that every day?"
So people need to know how it works. You're a veteran. You're a retired vet. You're in a Green Mountain State, and you said,
No, they medically retired me.
okay,
So
so okay, so you medically retired. So how does it work then? How does a person, get the help that they need, what and the support they need in a system as this? If you're donating, if I donate to a veterans organization, that money should go to help veterans. Tell me how that works. Give me a little insight
if
about that.
you're donating to veteran organizations, your money is paying their salary and paying for their homes, and a very minute portion is going to help veterans. And don't think you're helping every veteran, because you're not. They pick and choose and select who they help. Like, they think that Wounded Warrior helps every veteran. No, Wounded Warrior helps certain era veterans.
Meaning, when you say certain era
It
veterans,
depends on which war you served in.
okay. So if you
If
serve in the
you
Vietnam,
served prior to, like Vietnam veterans,
yeah. If you serve in Vietnam, and where else? Iraq,
Desert
Desert
Storm. If
Storm.
you no, they help Operation Iraqi Freedom. They help them and things like that. Like when we talk about the fact that people are delusional, they really believe like those commercials, like Mr. Duck. He really believes the commercials and stuff that they see on television.
So me being a local guy, say I'm a local guy. I know in my area we have a local VFW. How if I send a vet to the local VFW, does that money at the local, they do the meat rallies and the raffles and things like that? Does that money go to the veterans, or does that money goes? Where does that money go? Where do you think that goes?
I know I can tell you definitely it doesn't come to me. I know where it goes. It goes towards funding their issues, their pockets, their salaries, their desires. And like I said, a very small portion of it goes towards what it's geared towards. But you have to understand, always follow the money. Wherever the money goes, that's where it goes. But it's bigger than that, because the federal government funds these programs. They're the ones that start these programs and fund these programs and get them startup money and do all these things.
I think this is a great thing to talk about, especially with the 4th of July coming up, and everybody's celebrating and everybody's cooking out and everybody's,
Yeah,
doing
celebrating
it.
their liberties and their freedoms.
Mhm. I definitely think it's a important issue to talk about. You got Habitat for Humanity, veteran homes for veterans, and things like that. And you see different organizations pop up. But I really want to know: do those people really get the services that they need? I've been down to the veterans home in Boston. I've been down there and I seen somebody donated like bags of goodies and things like that. What I'm saying is, why do we have so many veterans homeless? Why do we have so many veterans on the street in a country like
Well,
this? In a country like this, and it bothers me.
like I'm gonna burst your bubble like I burst Mr. Ducks. Okay,
Talk to me.
doesn't work that way. What you don't get it. It's it's only logic and common sense. If there's all this federal money to help veterans and all these commercials that say, yeah, support your veterans, do this, do that, right?
Hmm.
Then why are there so many homeless ones, so many dying, so many committing suicide? Think about that.
Wow. Wow. But people are really thinking that they're doing a good deed and they're thinking that they're helping the service. And I get it on the street. I hear people on the street thinking, thank you for your service on Veterans Day, on Memorial Day. We always say that. Um, 4th of July coming up. But I don't think that we should have this many veterans not getting the care or the services that they need in this country. I don't know how it is abroad, but I know in the United States and dealing with, I've had friends who passed away who is a veteran and the way that he went out, it was just like I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. What is the message that you think people should know about veterans and how can they help them and how can they support them?
I really don't think that um, people value the fact of what goes into it when you serve. I don't know what it's like now, but I have a great deal of respect for anybody that ever went through basic training back in the day, that ever endured NOM. I sit there, I give them that respect, I listen to their stories, I value them. Vermont is not a state that's big on veterans. They don't. It's not. It's just not supported here, and it shouldn't matter whether you have military establishments in that state or not. You should just support whoever is willing to sign their name on that line and make that sacrifice. Because they're not just making sacrifices, whomever they're affiliated with is making those sacrifices as well.
Yeah, but you have VAs all around the country. You've got VA hospitals and you've got VFWs. Maybe they think that that's enough. We don't talk about post traumatic stress and things like that for these soldiers that come
Oh
back.
yeah, they do. They talk about it and they label them as crazy. They write you off.
So how do we deal with this? How do we deal with this issue and these issues that affect our veterans?
Oh, one subject they absolutely will not touch:
What?
sexual assault in the military.
And why is that?
The content. Are you kidding?
Yeah, we hear stories, and sometimes they're reported, and sometimes it's not reported. But I'm sure it's a issue that needs to be dealt with. What do you think?
They don't deal with that. They talk about PTSD. People have no idea. They talk about traumatic brain injury. They have no idea what these things are.
So, what's a good starting point? What should
A
the
great starting point would just be having people open and enlighten their minds.
But in this country, they probably feel like they do everything for the veterans, and they probably think, "Hey, we donate, we give money for the veterans, and we're doing this or we're doing that." But in reality, and I know you're only speaking from the Green Mountain State point of view, but in reality, you haven't seen that happen where the funds are being dispersed properly to the retired or the discharged military personnel.
We could be here for days talking about where things need to start and how they need to end. And I think people really believe that the federal government is there for us. They have no idea what that journey is. Like, you don't just get anything. You have to fight for everything. For and now that VA has dramatically changed their system to all this new electronical digital stuff, you don't even you don't even get human contact anymore. It's just it's sad.
Wow, I definitely feel like the people need to be educated more about this situation as far as dealing with our military personnel and retired personnel from the military. I just don't know where to start or where to go, but having a conversation, I definitely would love to have a conversation about it and try to navigate through the system as much as possible. But trying to, I'm not military, but I love the support and I love to, I'm doing great. I love the support and I love to help as much as I could. What is the best ways that somebody could help a military personnel who's been in the military or somebody who's been there? And what kind of support can you give these people?
I think they could start by valuing them. Wouldn't we all be better off if we just value each other as human beings? But there's there's this lack of respect now for veterans and military members. There's this like hostility, and I don't think the regular people just understand what's invested into that lifestyle. It's a whole different world, and like I said, we could be here for days if we went knee deep into it. But it's not what they think. These fireworks and all this stuff, and the Veterans Day, they look at it as just a day off. They have no idea of the sacrifices that were made for them to enjoy those days off.
So what do you tell a young person who's looking at the military for their future? What do you say to them? What
Oh no, no, you're not gonna do that to
yeah,
me.
what advice? Yeah, because I mean I've got family members who are in the military right now. I just want to know what would you say to them? A young person comes to you and say, "Hey, I want to go into the military." What would be your advice to them, knowing what you know?
Honestly,
Yeah,
am I allowed to swear?
yeah. Hey, this is the internet. You can do what you got to do. Let's hear it. I want you to keep it on.
Hell no.
Why?
And if you're a person of color, double hell no.
But why? I mean, why would you give them that advice? I mean, because people do things for different reasons. For a lot of people in a lot of places, they use the military for education. You got the GI Bill and things like that. They use the military to get out of where they are and from the area they may live in and the part of the country they may not like living where they live. So they see the military as an opportunity. And some people, you had General Colin Powell who raised through the ranks. You have certain people who raised through the ranks and they've used the military to make a better life for themselves, I'd say. So,
Well, I mean, look at our family history ourselves. Look how many of us have served.
but there's an upside to that and there's a downside, right?
Absolutely. And what happens with the downside is I fell for it too. I fell for the going to military and get your education and this is the best financial security. Do you not realize one time me and my ex tabulated what we made and we made 34 cents a day
Wow.
for the hours that we worked, the toll that it takes on your body, the physical endurance of it, and when you break down and you're broken, you're out.
Wow. Amazing. I think it's amazing. I just think that more people need to be educated about making a decision. Like I said, I'm not against the military. I'm not for it or against it. I just think I appreciate everybody who served and everybody who has made, especially those who've made the ultimate sacrifice, the ultimate sacrifice. But my main concern is um, military personnel getting the respect, like you said, the respect that they deserve, and the proper treatment. Proper treatment. What do you consider proper treatment for retired military personnel?
I think that you should never have to fight for something that you're entitled to. And if we want to talk truth, there should never be words used like homeless veterans.
Wow. Yeah, I appreciate that because like I totally agree. So one of the solutions is getting involved in let's say the housing sector and creating something for veterans so they would have a place to go. You know,
But
I
you
don't
know, that's not realistic. I mean, you're living my experience now, and it's not realistic unless, of course, we create it. We are infinite creators, but it's not there. There's no, it's just not there. The way that they have the programming and everything set up and established within the structure, you there's no emergency anything, which is why you have the domino effect of so many homeless because there are so many hoops and so many regulations and all this that you have to jump through. And if you don't meet the requirements, then you're out.
no matter where you serve or when did you
No
serve.
matter where, how long, whatever, right? You're out.
And I notice a lot of times running into veterans, I notice that there's probably like a substance abuse issue. And that's something that jumps out at me. I'm like, is this person stable? Like, what's going on? I can't, and I always try to put my hands on it. And I try to be aware of my surroundings. Try to be aware. But I just want to know, is that a big issue? You know, especially with the opioid crisis. I've seen veterans on the street, and it's like, I've seen them talking to themselves. I've seen them sleeping, and I've seen them sleeping. I'm telling you, asking for money.
Uh,
I see it all the time. Talk to me about that a little bit.
the most simplistic way to explain that would be to say, if you ever had to endure what your body goes through, what your brain is taught and trained, and if you wind up in combat and you sustain all that trauma to the mind, then you do the math.
The
But
mind.
what's insulting about that aspect is this, right? Is the way they're treated. The way they're treated if they have substance abuse, the way they're treated if they're talking to themselves, which I don't find a problem talking to yourself. But if you're behaving in a way that society doesn't believe is appropriate, they shun them, they're often mistreated, but they've sustained a great deal.
Yeah, this is impromptu, and I enjoy it because, like I said, I get to get a different perspective. I get to see something different. I mean, we all want to feel like everything's gravy and everything's going good. I know there's a war in the Ukraine and there's people going over there. Matter of fact, there's even U.S. soldiers who are going over there and fighting that war. Former military officers going over there to fight that war. But
There's a war here.
okay, but most people don't realize that, and most of the civilians don't understand that there's one going on here, and it's probably on a lot of different fronts. I wouldn't say it's just on one front. I would say on a lot of different fronts.
A
So,
multitude of layers. So
so how do we help our veterans? That I guess that's the main thing I'm trying to get to the answers to. I don't have the answers. I don't know all the answers. All I can say is I could try, or we could try to bring some light to the situation. Bring some light to the situation and try to help those who need the help. I mean real help, not just, you know, let's pacify them and get them out of here. Real help. I can't hear you. Speak up.
You guys,
Okay.
how difficult it is. I don't think anybody, I had to step away for a second and catch myself because I don't think people actually realize how hard it is. It's hard. It has to, we have to like find a mutual point to start over.
A reset. A reset.
A reset, a definite reset. I don't think it's coming from, it cannot come within the structure that we call a government. It's not going to come from that. I think it has to come with us as human beings and creators. I think it's going to have to be created within us.
So private sector.
Absolutely.
So the private sector, if the private sector deals with this, then we could see a drastic change. And
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, like see a lot of people like Mr. Doug, they think, oh, I give a contribution and they're getting the money, but they have no idea. It has to start independently. And I would call on all these big wig celebrities that have read up all these checks, you know, and they think they're actually benefiting those veterans when the only people you're benefiting are the people's salaries that run the program. You're not benefiting veterans at all. They only get a minuscule amount of their money. So it has to be created. It has to be created. And like I'm always telling you, Christopher, that it has to be created within us. We don't see it there, create it.
Oh, there's definitely a need. There's definitely a need for our veterans and for our, retired military personnel to live a good life, live a solid life. If you and especially if you paid the price and you went and you served and you've done the job, I definitely think there needs to be more respect. Put some respect on their names, and it shouldn't just be on Memorial Day, and it shouldn't just be on Veterans Day.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly. It should be every single day of their life. Like I said, there should never ever be a homeless that shouldn't even be a word where there's a veteran or someone that has served their country and they don't have a place to live. Really?
yeah, make it make sense. To me, that makes no sense, but it is a system that we have, and I realize it's a system, and I realize there's a lot of red tape, a lot of paperwork. I get it, I understand that, and I realize that you have to pay these people to run these businesses, and because at the end of the day, they are businesses. They are businesses, but we can't treat our retired military personnel like numbers and not like human beings.
It's sad. It's sad. You can't be responsible for someone else's frame of mind, but you can take ownership for the fact that you created that mind. You created that person.
Elaborate on that for us.
They created you. You're a machine. They tell you you're a machine. You are a soldier 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 a day. And they tell you that, they train you like that, they condition you like that. train you into machines, and then you get broken, and they discard you.
And the question is there a fix? Really, because I don't want to spin my wheel. I don't want to keep on yapping and talking if there's not really a fix. If there's a fix, it
We
has
have
to.
to create it.
Okay. All right. And the best
There's
way.
definitely a fix. We just have to create it. There should never be a hungry person, a hungry veteran. It should never happen in this, the richest country in the world. Really? I mean, of course, that depends on perspective, but that's the quote that they always use, that we're wealthy, we're better than every other country. Come look and see how great we are. When you look at the military and you look at people fighting to get benefits, fighting, you shouldn't have to fight. You already fought. The United States needs to live up to their end of the bargain.
Oh, it's a lot to take in, but I think it's a serious issue that needs attention. It needs a change. It needs attention.
If you think it's a lot to take in, right? Imagine living it.
Agree. I can't imagine. I can't imagine. Everybody has their own journey and everybody walks their own path. I can't imagine. I just
You
go ahead.
you you made a choice to serve. They made an agreement with you where when you serve, if you get hurt, they're gonna take care of you. They
Le-
don't, but what they don't tell you is all the rules to take care of you, all the conditions, all the requirements.
And let me ask you this question because I have someone here and they're asking me they're talking about the church. Do you think the church should play a role with this situation at all? Do you think they should have a say or a moral say in how these people are being
We're
treated?
not going to go into that one about churches, and they have not an obligation to veterans. They have an obligation when they're presenting an image to everybody that they serve, every human being. When we talk about churches and you think about that structure, then you pose the question, as I often do, if the churches were fulfilling their alleged obligations, then take a look around you. As a matter of fact, I use myself often as the example, right? I watched three people today go to a church, and it had a sign over it that said chapel. But when they walked to the door, it was locked.
How is the church closed?
Exactly.
So there's a void. Basically, what I'm gathering is there's a void. There's a void. I don't want to say a moral compass, but there's a void in the community that's left by the church. I think a lot of these things are supposed to work together in order to
And unity,
in unity and
right?
yeah, and in unison to help the fellow man. Facts. Help the fellow man. This brother's telling me God now has ours. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Facts. Agree. So now the church has become a business. A business. Turning over who turn over the money tables? You understand? So now we're gonna get into it. The 501(c)(3)s and the churches and the government, whatever happened is separations between the church and the state. But I definitely think there needs to be checks and balances. Checks and balances. But if you're only getting checks, you're only getting checks and no balances, then herein lies the problem. The church has pretty much got paid off, so they can't look out for the I don't want to say society as a whole, or those structures that we've built in the country. So yeah, checks and balances, but only one group of people seem to be getting the checks.
A lot of them.
Wow, amazing. I'm blown away. You know, I'm blown away. I just had a feel. I had to get a feel for the situation. For the situation, because I think we all have our part. We all play a part. Every last one of us. You know, especially when you become a certain age. You know, signing up for the select service, doing that in case there's a draft. I mean, I understand the importance of the military. I understand the importance of the police and the firefighters and the ambulance. I understand the streets and everything that we have, but to the neglect human life, I'm never gonna be okay with that.
I think you have to look at the way that everyone is defining the word human.
Talk to me.
They all preach love. They all, you see all these commercials, and you see all this stuff, right? We see it, but it's not real.
Break it down for me.
It's not real. How could you call yourself a church? How could you call? Okay, we know all the laws of the universe. We know there's cause effect. We know that everyone chooses their own journey. But you're telling people constantly, "Oh, you won't be judged. There's love and unity in the church. There's hypocrisy in the church. It's the most lucrative business in the world, and you're placing someone else above yourself, and they're not being effective in anything." I'm just going to be quite candid about it. Let's talk about a certain minister without throwing out names, right? Are you allowed to throw out names? But if your pastor is driving a Bentley and you're driving a Hyundai, what's wrong with that equation?
Well, I think he probably should help you, or help you figure out how to get a Bentley. The problem is he's driving good and living good, but the flock is isn't.
Exactly. When you want your flock to have the same thing that you have if you have a flock?
Yes, I would. I want my people to enjoy the good
The
life.
same thing that I'm enjoying, right?
Agree. Agree.
But you're preaching from a book and you're saying statements, but you're not living up to them to turn those statements into facts.
I mean, there's got to be a lot to reconcile, you know, between church and state, church and government. I think if we could ever get on the same page, I think we could rectify a lot of things. We could fix a lot of things.
I don't know how they're gonna separate church and state when they don't pay taxes. Is
Agree.
that well, let's go a little deeper into it. If they're so separate, why do they get all the opportunities that everyone else doesn't?
It's a good question. But most
But
people,
I thought they're separate.
well, they're not separate. They're beholden to the government once they become a nonprofit. Once they file for that nonprofit status, they are beholden to the government because the government is now their daddy.
Okay, exactly. So where's the separation?
There is no separation of church and state.
Exactly.
Therein lies the illusion once again.
Exactly. And that's the world that people live in.
So is the problem the money, or is the problem the system? What's the problem? The root of the problem because we all need
It's,
money to make it happen.
it's systemic. It's both in a little ways. It's systemic, but there's also a moral compass as well. There's also that moral. We keep using words and terminology, and I told you if people actually know how these words were derived, where they came from, their origins, what they initially meant, they wouldn't use them. But no one educates themselves to these things. They just kind of conform. But if you think about it and think logically about it, eventually everyone will start to connect the dots. Eventually, hopefully, that's my dream.
Yeah, I hope that happens. I hope one day change will come, especially for those who serve and those who paid the price. I don't care if you serve a week. I don't care if you serve 2 years, 3 years. You served, and you should be treated with respect and dignity. And like I said, everybody should play their part in society in order to create a better world or create a better place for all who live on the plane. Is there anything else you want to discuss before I get out of here? Because, like I said, we can talk about this all day. But like I
Yeah,
said,
we can. We
but
go back and forth all the time.
but I just think it's something that needs to be talked about. It needs to be an outlet. Hell, I'm even willing to start a channel to talk about this because I think it's that important. It's really that important. I don't think it's something that you sweep under the rug and turn your back on. It's issues that we need to deal with because if you don't have a voice, that's where the problem comes in. When you don't have a voice, you can't speak up. And I think there's a lot of people out there who who can't speak up because they don't have a voice. All we need
Yeah.
is to come back together as a family. That's what this guy is telling me. Messenger 1106 is telling me. Yeah, we all need to come together. And I think if we could do that for our veterans, for our children, for humanity, and I know everybody have different definitions for a lot of different things, but what about doing the right thing? Doing the right thing.
It's just simple. It's simple, but people try to make it complex because they don't want to apply it. It's rather simple. It's just when nobody wants to walk in their truth, it's a lot easier to just stay in the illusion.
Yeah. Well, the division is what really hurts. Is keeping the people divided by politics, by race, by so many different economics. There's so many things that divide people. I mean, you could serve next to somebody in the military, then get out in the real world and be treated less than a human being. I think that's nuts. I think that's crazy. You know, but like I said, the only way change is gonna come is if we get together and we make a difference, make a change. Look at the
If we apply that word instead of just talking about it, if we applied the word unity, we would be a lot better off as a society. We're on this plane, we're on this rock, we're on this planet, whatever you want to call it. We're here. But there, with all these changes in society, all these changes with this digital technology, there are so many people that they're not being left behind, they're being dragged and drowned because humanity is losing, everyone is losing that sense of humanity, and we're becoming so desensitized as human beings and so disconnected. We were already divided. I mean, that was already the mission, but we're becoming more and more. I talked to this man, Mr. Doug. I keep saying his name, and he's 80 years old. 80. And I listened to him and I listened to him, and you know all the things I have going on in my world right now. But I listened to this man and I heard him over and over and over and over and over and over. And I couldn't imagine being 80 years old and watching the evolution of society and everything that's going on in this world right now. I couldn't imagine being 80 and watching it happen. And like he said, I think he said it best, is that we're no longer humans, are we?
Transhumanism, merging AI with human. You just went there with me. You just went there with me. I wasn't expecting to go here. I'm maybe I might just back off. Maybe I might back off of that one. But that's a great question. A great question. The great, I believe it's not Tesla, the great Elon Musk wanting to merge AI with humanity. I think that's the next step. It's the next step.
We're gonna save that one, but how in the world is that even possible?
And what they're gonna try.
I mean, think about the logic of that. And everybody, they laugh at these movies and stuff, but I told you, if you want to see what's getting ready to happen, just watch a good one. Which film do you want, the red one or the blue?
No, I hear you. We all are forced to make choices and make decisions. And I get it. I get it. But is it evolution? Do we call this evolution, or this is something that's being forced on mankind? It's being
Come on, you can't call that evolution when you can't even decide for yourself. They said to me today, when I tried to use my card, right? They said, we can't do anything about it. I said, you can't do anything about it. You can't control a machine. It's a computer. It's a machine. We can't fix it. We cannot fix it. The machine is telling us how to do it, and we can't do it any differently because this is the way it's programmed. You do the math.
Yeah, well, your privacy. People think they have privacy. You've got a phone. Your phone could probably listen to you. You got an Alexa. Alexa probably can listen to you. Could probably record everything to you. Yeah, I mean, and like you say, these are machines, but we have to realize the greatest computer that we have in the universe is the human mind, the brain. And once you give your brain up to these things, and once you give your mind up to these things, then that's when the real problem happens. You cannot be a slave to the technology. You cannot be a slave to the robots. You can't be a slave to that. Free the slaves. Free the slaves.
But in order to free the slave, you have to free your mind. And they have already maintained, and they have your mind. I remember when cell phones were free, and I said, "Oh yeah, that was the mission all along." Well, everybody got free cell phones, and and now they're calling them, what are they, smartphones? And I ask people to think about that. How is the phone smart and you're not? The phone is typing for you, it's texting, it's sending messages, it's doing all kinds of things, and we are no longer using our minds because we're relying on the technology.
Wow. And like you said, and a lot of people being dragged. A lot of people being left behind, but dragged down by technology. Wow. I didn't mean to go ahead and night beautiful infinite creators, but
Yeah, we can't go there.
but I'm enjoying myself. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm enjoying myself between Messenger 1106 and listening to this conversation that I'm having here with this veteran. I'm not gonna put your name out there, but I love it. This is my cousin, but I definitely enjoy it. I'm definitely having a great conversation because I think it's something that we need to talk about the plight of our veterans in the United States of America. I definitely think should be treated better. Um, definitely check out this video here on YouTube that Message 1106 put up. I want to check it out. But I thank you guys for rocking with me. I want to see what's going to happen in the next 13 days, the next 13 years, the next 13 days. I want to see what's going to happen with technology. I heard there's supposed to be something big going on with July 5th in the CERN machine and a portal opening up, but I got to do a little more research on that. But thank you guys for rocking with us. I'd like to thank you for joining me tonight. To all the beautiful infinite creators, you know what it is. I salute you. I respect the divinity in you. And I got to rock and roll because I got to get out of here. You all are pets. That's why you. Oh, man. I got you. I got you. Awesome. 13 days. 13 days. And we out. Take care, guys. Peace.